Hi, I'm Espen Kraft and I make 80s inspired synth-pop music. I have a track called Don't Go and I'm gonna show you how I made that track today. I'm gonna show you some tricks, some tips on how to make your own songs in the 80s fashion. 80s pop music often had that elegant, sophisticated feel, and a lot of that is due to the chords and melodic structures used to create those little moments of elegance.
I love you more.
Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more like this. Thanks. Okay, in under 20 minutes I'm gonna teach you how to make an 80s inspired synth-pop track. I'm gonna teach you this by breaking down my own track called Don't Go, and I highly recommend you listening to the finished track before you watch this tutorial. See a link in the description. So we have the verses. Before the verses we have the intro, and the intro is pretty much the chorus itself. And before the verses start, I have a little pre-verse thing where I play D minor, C, B flat, and the A minor. But I add the ninth every time on every chord, so instead of I get this. By holding the bass note as the D in every chord, it gives a tension and ominous feeling towards what's gonna happen next. And the next is the actual verse, which we're going to take a look at now. And the verse starts with a B flat major. And I hold the bass and I go into the C and down to A minor 7. And to D minor. And the reason why I hold the bass for the first two chords is because of tension, and in tandem with the lyric it sort of gives a little edge there, because the lyrics go like I love you more than any of the guys you went looking for. So when I sing the I love you more, it doesn't seem right to me to go up to the C in the bass there, even though I play the C chord. So I went for the B flat major 7 and just hold the bass. And that's a well-known trick as well. And I repeat. Tonight at home, I saw you walking around with your telephone. And I go up to the D sharp just to make a statement that you were home talking on your telephone. And that segues very nicely into the last B flat, not the major this time, but and let me repeat. Tonight at home, I saw you walking around with your telephone. Living alone, I know the reason you... And here I go down to the F minor with an A flat bass. And that sort of breaks up the whole thing really, because you don't expect that. And I go from there into the G minor, which I hold for another bar just to create even more tension because of the lyrics. So let me try that again. Tonight at home, I saw you walking around with your telephone. Living alone, I know the reason you don't So I go from the, or B flat, living alone, I know, the F minor with a flat bass, the reason you don't walk out on me, and then down to the G minor, and I hold that for a bar, a reason for you, and up to the C. So everything, living alone, I know, the reason you don't walk out on me, a reason for you, I'm loving you more. On those last chords are the suspended eighth, or suspended A, and the A7, and I go down to the G bass, because that leaves room to go into the F chord for the chorus. The suspended fourth chord is a really closing type of chord, and in 80s pop music you often find these types of chords towards the verses and pre-choruses to really make way for the chorus that's about to happen, and it's the same in this track. So during the verse of the song we play lots of chords actually, and we modulate in a way, especially around the F minor with the A flat bass. So the verse from the top then is I love you more than any of the guys you went looking for. Tonight at home I see you walking around with your telephone. Living alone, I know, the reason you don't walk out on me, a reason for you, I'm loving you more, don't go. And another thing that's really important, I think, is to always play the variations of the chord that don't end up on the note you're singing. If you go back to the verse, I love you more. And when I play those notes, I love you more, I don't go up to the... I don't play the same chord which ends on the note I'm singing. Instead of going to this C chord, I go to this variation instead, because that also creates a sort of pseudo harmony that the listener can relate to, not conscious perhaps, but you're going to pick up on the same note if the chords and other synth parts play the same note as you're singing. So I try to avoid that. Sometimes it's the best option to do that, but often it's not. So pay attention to these things as well. Okay, moving on. The chorus. I wanted to go from the segue from the A suspended fourth, A7, and down to F, because the chorus is in F, but it also creates that nice down spiraling towards that F chord. And in reality, when I add up the vocal note and the instrumentational parts, it's really an F major 7. I don't actually play the 7th note in the synth or in the arrangement, but the way I sing and where the melody goes, that really adds the 7th in lots of the parts. So when I make those tracks, compose those tracks, I always go back and think, can I change a little bit here? Can I change a little bit there to make this track a little more enjoyable for the listener? Because ultimately I want to make the listener enjoy himself and submerge himself in the feelings I'm trying to create. Don't go and tell that I'm alive. I know that I'll survive. I'm well, don't go. I don't live another day. I know that it's okay for you to run away. I messed up the lyrics there a little bit, but you get the idea. The notes are the right ones. Okay, so the chords in the chorus is the F, but there's not lots of notes from the other synths as well in the finished record. But the chords are like F, G, C, A minor, back to F, G, and C, and now you go to the E sharp. So the chords in the chorus is pretty simple. It's the E sharp in the middle there that really leads the way for another round. And later I go past the E sharp, or I don't play the E sharp at all and go instead for the C chord with an E bass. That'll sound something like this. Go, don't live to see the day. I know that it's okay. And I always end at the E minor, and that's because the lyrics is kind of melancholic. I'm going for a melancholic vibe, and instead of going closing with a C, which would be too triumphant, I think, I'll end on the E minor, and that goes very well with the kind of British synth pop feeling that I go for most of the time. That's too obvious. It's the standard 4, 5, and back to 1 intervals, but I go for the F, G, A minor. And that's the chorus, both the first time and the last time, and even the intro. And we come to the bridge. The bridge is really a D minor going down and up again, missing one step, if you like. I'll go through it. It goes something like this. So we have the D, A, C sharp bass, F with the C bass, and the G with the A with the B bass, back to C, G with the B bass, and the A minor 7, and the same with the G bass, and F, and a G, and the A minor. So in the bass it's like so it's just paying attention to it's all about what the pinky is playing, or in the final recording what the synths are playing. And we go back to the last choruses, except for another little bridge which doesn't have any chord structure really. It's just some effects and a little pling plong on the bass and kick. So after that we go back to the last choruses, which are really just only variations of the F, G, C, A minor theme that we've gone through already. So what I want you to take from this is that to create an 80s synth pop track, it's always something more than just the rhythm and bass in the 80s synth pop. Today it's more like bass driven, more beat driven, but 80s synth pop always had those nice chord structures in the bottom, and the melodic lines, the notes sung by the vocalists always had a little seventh or ninth feel to the chords in it. That way 80s synth-pop often sounds more sophisticated than pop music today. At least I think so. You might disagree, sure, just comment, but I think 80s pop music had an elegant, sophisticated feel, and that all boils down to chord structure and melodic structure together with the chords that really made all those almost jazzy chords, but not quite, because it doesn't sound jazzy, perhaps not all the mainstream synth-pop from the 80s, but lots of the synth-pop from the 80s has some chords that you just don't at first time pay attention to, but as you dive into the songs and studying the arrangements and the compositions, you find lots of 7th, 9th, 11th chords and suspended chords that just make up the whole elegant part of the 80s. So just add those flavors to your tracks and create tension by holding bass notes for a bar or two. Use the 7th chords. Use the minor going up to the major, and go back again to major 7th and raise the bass, and you'll find that all sorts of possibilities are open. And modulate, and go back, and go down again. It sure sounds nice in my view. So that was it, how to make an 80s synth-pop track in under 20 minutes. Until we meet again, bye for now. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more like this. Thanks.